random variable and probability distribution. Have you heard about this? Chalo, let's not waste time today. Random variable, Utkarsh have heard. What is this? You must have studied in your probability, right? Now you see, fine, Utkarsh. So I'm just giving you a brief. I guess you can understand that. Now you see, बहुत ज़्यादा डिटेल में नहीं जाना है. You can easily solve this. Notes I have already provided, I guess. Now see, suppose you are conducting some experiment. We call it as, or we represent it with capital E, okay? And we call it as random experiment. What is experiment? You are doing any activity. Fine. Whenever you are doing any activity or experiment, then obviously something will happen because some activity is going on. So obviously it will have a outcome. Obviously, because every action has a reaction. Newton's third law. So if you are conducting an experiment, obviously there will be an outcome. Either we like it or we not like it. So we have a possibility of outcome. Now whatever outcome is coming, it is represented in a set. Means set of outcomes. Curly bracket means set. Now set of the outcomes. Then this is known as sample space. A set conducting of all the outcomes is your sample space. We call it as sample space in terms of statistics. Now, say suppose I have values of these outcomes as x1, x2, x3 till xn. Alright. Now, these are what? These outcomes are denoted as x1 to xn are known as your sample points. These are your sample points. Alright. These are technical terms which we will be using. Random experiment, we also call it as event. Okay? Capital A is denoting a random experiment or the event which will have some outcome, and outcome can be both in the terms of success or failure or the desired outcome or undesired outcome. So a set of all the outcomes is your sample space, and the elements in your sample space are known as your sample points, and it will always have finite number of points. Fine? Clear this much? Now, what is random variable then? Random variable is defined as a function, a real valued function. Okay? This is what? This is your real valued function. If you have a sample space this, then it will also, let me change color. This denotes your domain. Kiska? Of your real valued function ka. Your sample space denotes the domain of your real valued function or random variable, real valued function, or this is known as capital X, which is said to be your random variable, and random variable has a domain as a sample space. Then if it has a domain, then it also has a range, which is denoted as capital A. Capital A is a range which denotes a numerical value, which gives a numerical value kiski of your outcome. Numerical value of the possibility or the probability. Alright. Implies what? A random variable is defined as a real valued function who has a domain as a sample space and takes a numerical value or it can have outcome in the terms of numerical value is considered as the range of the random variable. Fine. Then this is said to be a random variable. Now, iski definition you can have from your notes. This is defined as, I'm going to read this. A real valued function is defined on sample space, which is denoted by capital S. We denote sample space as capital S and range as capital A. Then capital A is your random experiment or for the random variable. Then to each sample space, we have a sample point small s. Then a real value, because capital S is what? Your random experiment key, all the possible outcomes. So random variable is denoted mathematically as a real valued function. This is giving you a value where your I is 1 to n. बस इतना याद रखना है. So what we have done till now, try to understand because every question depends on these things only. First, we have conducted a random experiment or event. Every event or experiment will have an outcome in the terms of yes or no, possibility or non-possibility, success or failure. The set of all your outcomes is going to form your sample space, which is denoted by capital X, S, and all, let it be denoted as x1, x2 till xn. Then these individual outcomes are known as your sample point for each outcome. Then what is a random variable? A real valued function x defined on sample space capital S of the random experiment. Capital S means your sample space, your outcome of random experiment capital E is called a random variable, which assigns to each sample, point, that is x1, x2, xn, so on. To each sample point, that is small s belonging to capital S. One and only one real value. Each sample point को सिर्फ एक ही real value assign करता है. Fine, that is xi, that is 1 से लेके till n तक is known as your random variable. Say suppose now, for example, if you are tossing a coin, very simple example, we are tossing a coin, all right? So you are tossing a coin, toss a coin one time, toss a coin one time. Now tell me from here, what is your experiment? What is your outcome? What is your sample space? What is your domain and what is your range? Can you tell me? And what is your random variable? चलो, don't waste time. जल्दी बोलो. Your random experiment is? Statement इसी form में होगी. You have to interpret all the data which is provided to you and then you have to evaluate accordingly. Tossing a coin is your experiment. Yes, very good. This is your random experiment, tossing a coin. Outcome दो ही होंगे. Coin toss करो या तो head आएगा और we will have a tail. So हमारा sample space will be set of the outcome. तो अपना sample space is h, t. तो तुम्हारे sample points क्या हुए? That is head या फिर tail. दो ही सैंपल पॉइंट है, हेड एंड टेल. अब डोमेन क्या है? डोमेन इज ऑल दी आउटकम्स, ऑल द वैल्यूज ऑफ योर आउटकम्स, दैट इज एच एंड टी ओनली. नाउ डोमेन इज, तुमने सिंगल टॉस किया कॉइन तो हमारे पास दो ही डोमेन है. एंड द रेंज इज, now range depends upon the random variable. अब random variable means we have to give a language or a probability of our desired outcome. I say I want head. What is the possibility of head? Head की possibility. What is the possibility then? 1.5 obviously means you have cost a coin एक ही बार, तो या तो head आएगा या tail आएगा, तो means total outcome कितने हैं? So possible outcome, this is always equals to the 2 raised to the power outcome whole raised to the power number of time experiment is conducted. Number of times experiment is conducted. तो outcome कितने हैं? 2. एक्सपेरिमेंट कितनी बार हुआ है? 1 टाइम. तो तुम्हारा डोमेन क्या होगा? 2 ही होगा. दैट इज योर एच एंड टी. तो अब तुम्हें मालूम है रेंज इज व्हाट? न्यूमेरिकल वैल्यू. सो हमें चाहिए क्या है? हेड. तो हेड अगर आ जाता है तो प्रोबेबिलिटी इज 1, क्योंकि हम जो चाह रहे थे वो हमें मिल गया. इफ यू आर डिजायरिंग हेड एंड हेड इज कमिंग, तो योर डोमेन, योर रेंज इज 1, and if head is not coming, your range is 0. Fine. So we always give numerical value to the desired outcome is your range. Understood? So for this example, your random experiment is tossing a coin. Your outcomes are head and tail. Your sample space is the set of your outcome. Sample point are your individual outcomes. Then you have to define your random variable. Random variable was your possibility of head. Then domain क्या है? Head and tail. And range will be, if head is coming, it is 1. And if, yes, where is 1/2? 1/2 अगर यही आ गया 1/2, that is probability. Probability is 1/2. Understood? This is the difference. Probability is 1/2. That is your chance upon total outcome. All right. So your outcome कितने हैं? 2 हैं. हमें क्या चाहिए? Head. अगर आ जाता है तो it is 1. All right. Then probability is your desired outcome upon total number of outcomes. That is going to give you your probability. All right. Similarly, if I say toss a die, no problem. Concentrate here. वो बाद में बात करेंगे. Now you are tossing a die. Die you know ना, लूडो वाली. Toss a die. तो हमारे पास experiment is tossing a die. Then उसके outcome will be, outcomes are, जल्दी बोलो, don't waste time. 1 2 3 4 5 6. yes. तो सैंपल स्पेस क्या हो गया? 1 से लेके 6 तक, ये हमारा सैंपल स्पेस हो गया. सैंपल पॉइंट इज 1 2 3 4 इंडिविजुअली. नाउ अब रैंडम वेरिएबल डिफाइन से आई से कि व्हाट इज द पॉसिबिलिटी ऑफ 1 and 6, कि 1 आ जाए और 6 आ जाए. ठीक है. पॉसिबिलिटी ऑफ 1 and 6, दिस इज योर रैंडम वेरिएबल, कि हम क्या चाह रहे हैं कि हमारा आउटकम ये आना चाहिए. ठीक है. अब जो हम चाह रहे हैं दैट इज योर डोमेन. डोमेन में आएगा. फिर उसको अगर वो चीज यू हैव अटेन्ड इट, दैट विल कम अंडर द रेंज. नाउ पॉसिबिलिटी ऑफ 1 and 6, दैट विल बी, क्या होगा? 1/6. 1/6. 1/3. यू सी तुम्हारा टोटल आउटकम कितने हैं? 6 है. 1 और 6, इट मीन 2 सक्सेस हो रही है. अगर 1 आ गया तब भी सक्सेस है, 6 आ गया तब भी सक्सेस है. तो इट मीन्स व्हाट? सो यू हैव 2 पॉसिबिलिटीज ऑफ सक्सेस. 1 के आने पर भी सक्सेस है, 2 और 6 के आने पे भी सक्सेस है. सो यू आर हैविंग सक्सेस 2 times out of total outcome. So this is what? Probability is 1/3. We have random variable of 2 kinds. All right. One is discrete random variable. Another one is continuous random variable. पहले एक एक करेंगे. ओके. और इनकी डेफिनेशन करनी है. सिंपल क्वेश्चन ही बेस्ड होंगे. कंटिन्यूअस बाद में करेंगे. आई एम जस्ट टेलिंग यू हियर बिकॉज हमें पूरा बोर्ड चाहिए डिस्क्रीट के लिए. Now you see what is discrete random variable. If your x is what? Capital X. ठीक है. Random, always remember random variable को भी denote with capital alphabets. Okay. और random variable के जो set के अंदर points होंगे, that is your sample points, we define with smaller lower cases. ठीक है. Smaller alphabets. Always remember random variable is denoted with capital because it's a set. Now your capital X usually हम अल्फाबेट के लास्ट वाली टर्म से लेते हैं, x y z. Alright. So discrete random variable C, if it assumes finite values. Always remember what is the difference between discrete and continuous. Your discrete random variable will always assume a finite values. It assumes very very important, only finite or countably जिसको काउंट किया जा सके finitely. Price, no, price is not discrete. Countably infinite set of values. Fine. And the continuous will be if capital X assumes values in interval. Particular thing finite ही होती है. Yes, yes. If X assumes values in interval. Alright. Now, for example, discrete में number of students in class या number of X in a crate, number of X in crate, फिर number of defective bulbs या balls in a bag item. ठीक है. Similarly, या number of universities in India, number of universities. Similarly, continuous means you should have an interval. If I say the weight of number of boys in a class, number of used students, acha, number of CSC students, yes, it is discrete. Weight of boys in your class, या height, या फिर we say temperature in this season, temperature of winter during winter, या variation in winter in 2021. Now price is not always discrete. It is also lying in the, if I say discount is taking place of 15%, fine, then you have